So what's Neuralink, you may ask? Well, it's a small device that's designed to be implanted into our brains. That's right, you heard correctly, our brains. Why would Musk want to create something like this? Is he planning to brainwash the human race? Not exactly. Elon Musk hopes that with the Neuralink, we'd be able to interact with our devices using only our minds. Talk about convenience. Although the product is still being tested on mice and may not hit the market for years to come, Neuralink is so insane that it's quite literally hard to wrap our minds around it. Now, the brain-machine interfaces, or BMIs, have been around for quite some time now. They're often used to help people with disabilities better access the world around them. So what makes Neuralink special? For one thing, BMIs are notoriously difficult to receive and maintain. They're expensive, awkward, and sometimes even painful. With Neuralink, Musk plans on streamlining the BMI process, making these devices more accessible to the general public and less of a hassle to afford. In fact, with the Neuralink, Musk plans on finding cures for paralysis, dementia, and other neurodegenerative disorders. If this goal becomes a reality, this would make obsolete history in medical science. Now, the idea that a brain-machine interface could potentially cure several neurological ailments sounds amazing, right? Well, of course, it's groundbreaking. However, Musk does have his critics, and some worry that the Neuralink may be too hopeful of a project, even for the Tesla mastermind himself. Some concerned fans of the project wonder what could happen if the machine accidentally backfires. With any tech product, errors are almost guaranteed. From your iPhone to MacBook to even your Tesla, you'd be hard-pressed to find users of these devices who've never run into them crashing or requiring a hard reset. So what makes the Neuralink different? Well, the fact that it's attached to your brain means that one misstep could have potentially fatal results. What if the device 404s? Would you have a seizure? Potentially lose brain function? Heart failure? So many potential psychological risks when dealing with a device of this magnitude. Not to mention, like any piece of modern technology, there's always the risk of hackers. Except this time, they simply won't have access to your phone, but a device that's literally inside of you. Talk about scary. Users fear that this could potentially put their privacy at risk in a way we haven't seen before. Now, before you click off this video in fear, just know that Musk and his team are well aware of these concerns. In fact, they're spending so much of their time perfecting the Neuralink that in case something were to happen, like a 404 or a potential hack, there would be protection software in place to ensure the user's well-being and safety. This isn't the type of product that will appear on shelves overnight. Musk is determined to change the world with the Neuralink, and that determination comes lots and lots of testing. Does the idea of a Neuralink worry you? Do you think these concerns are valid? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay, so now that you know what Neuralink is and why some people are skeptical of its creation, you're probably wondering, how does it work? Well, let us show you. The Neuralink would essentially consist of two parts. The first is a chip, no bigger than a coin, that would be implanted into a human's brain. Connected to the coin-sized chip are wires, said to be over 20 times thinner than that of a strand of human hair. That's pretty small, right? These wires will fan out from the chip and connect to the user's brain. The wires are equipped with over 1,000 electrodes, every single one used to connect and interact with our brain, thus letting us control the Neuralink with our mind. The second piece to the Neuralink is the robot that is responsible for the actual implantation of the device into its host. Now, be warned, this may be too much to hear if you're squeamish. Essentially, the robot would be equipped with a needle, similarly to a sewing machine, and implant the device into your brain. Sounds scary and complicated, right? Well, actually, Elon Musk has promised to make this procedure as simple as LASIK eye surgery. In fact, the robot is designed to move with the user's brain, as brain movement during any type of surgery is incredibly common, thus lessening the chances of any accidental brain pokage. Of course, both of these components are still under development, and may be for a long time to come. But in short, that's basically how the Neuralink functions, although this all may be subject to change. Believe it or not, the Neuralink has already been successfully implanted into a few users. But don't get too excited, none of them were human. That's right, Musk has tested out this device on a variety of animal subjects, and the results were fantastic. In 2020, Musk unveiled one of Neuralink's first successful hosts, and that was a pig named Gertrude. After having the chip implanted in her brain for over 2 months, Gertrude showed off just how effective Musk's invention truly is. The Neuralink was able to record neurological activity when Gertrude performed certain tasks, like searching for food, or simply just walking. Gertrude's involvement with the Neuralink may have changed the game for how animals are treated as test subjects. Many animal subjects are forced to have wires sticking out through their skin, which is no doubt incredibly painful for them. However, the Neuralink, all testing was seemingly pain-free. This is a huge step for animal welfare, which is often a controversial topic when it comes to testing of certain devices. In April of 2021, Musk then decided to up the ante and try the Neuralink out on a more complex organism. He fit a monkey named Pager with the device, and the results are astonishing. With the Neuralink, Pager was able to successfully play a game of Pong without the use of any controllers. He did it all through his mind. The monkey's reward? Well, banana smoothies, of course. However, Pager's gaming skills didn't sit right with everyone. In February of 2022, the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine chastised Musk and his use of Pager in the experiment. They claimed to have found evidence that suggested the monkeys used in the Neuralink initial testing stages had undergone extreme suffering as a result of improper animal care. UC Davis, who was working in collaboration with Neuralink at this time, had promised that any animals in their labs were treated with adequate care and that they had followed all mandatory regulations when it came to animal testing. A spokesperson for Neuralink responded to these claims of animal abuse by stating, "At Neuralink, we are absolutely committed to working with animals in the most humane and ethical way possible." Also noting that the monkeys were treated to a 6,000 square foot vivarium that included pools, swings, tree houses, and other luxuries for them to enjoy. No matter what side of the monkey controversy you fall on, I think we can all agree that the end result was absolutely a great achievement in science. All great ideas will have rivals, those who seek out to achieve the same goal only on a bigger and better scale. Neuralink is no different. In April of 2021, a co-founder for Neuralink, Max Hodak, actually ended up leaving the company. Not only did Hodak leave Neuralink, he invested in their rival, Synchron, a biotech company with the same goal as Neuralink. In fact, they were actually able to conduct human trials before Neuralink. That's gotta hurt. But have no fear, Hodak still has faith in Musk and his vision, stating that he is and will always be a cheerleader for the company. Synchron may have reached human trials first, but Neuralink wasn't too far behind. In January of 2022, Musk announced that Neuralink will soon be seeking participants for their human trials. This is a huge step for the company, and could possibly mean that it may hit the market sooner than we first expected. Would you volunteer for the Neuralink human trials? Let us know, it'd be awesome to hear everyone's thoughts on this. So what exactly is in store for Neuralink in the foreseeable future? As always, Musk has a plan. After raising nearly $205 million in funding from investors, Neuralink has announced that their first goal is to implant their device into quadriplegics. For those of you who may not know, a quadriplegic is an individual who's affected by paralysis in all 4 of their limbs. You may be thinking, does Musk plan on curing their paralysis? Well, yes, but just not right now. There's still a lot of work to be done on the Neuralink before that can become a reality. However, he can grant them freedom in a different sense. Those without full use of their limbs suffer to have what Musk calls digital freedom, aka the ability to use their devices at their own pace and leisure. With the Neuralink implantation, these quadriplegics would be able to control their phones, laptops, smart TVs, and any other electronics by simply using their mind. That's pretty incredible, right? The Neuralink will give them high bandwidth usage of any connecting device in a natural way that adapts to their disabilities. What an amazing way to start the company's commercial sales, and I'm sure they'll put all $205 million of those investment dollars to good use. Like the title suggests, Elon Musk and the Neuralink have the potential to change the future, and if this device is a success, this dream may become a reality. But how? What could the Neuralink possibly do to change the biotech industry as we know it? Well, Musk thinks that given enough time, Neuralink could combine human and machine by mixing our consciousness with artificial intelligence. Musk believes that because human brains simply can't keep up with that of a supercomputer's wiring, we must simply join them. It's the only way to advance the human race. One of the ways he believes we can achieve this sort of futuristic mindset is through Neuralink. For example, with Neuralink, there may be the possibility of users being able to record and play back memories. Not just videos, not just pictures, but actual living, breathing memories. You'd never forget where you put your car keys again. Of course, this is met with doubts. Some think that Musk's plans are simply the workings of too much science fiction TV, often comparing his wild ideas to the popular show Black Mirror. No matter how fantastical, it has to be said that with technology always advancing, no one can say for certain where we'll be 10 or even 5 years from now. Black Mirror may become less fiction and more our everyday life. Now, as awesome as having AI abilities would be, as we've mentioned before, Musk's plans are much more altruistic than simply being able to record memories. In fact, the advancing medical science is one of his major goals with Neuralink. Elon has said that he plans to not only be able to solve neurological disorders that have psychological effects, but those that have mental and emotional effects as well. He's gone on record as stating that he hopes to eradicate things like schizophrenia and autism with this device. Although his claim has been met with criticism, as advocate groups for mental health have stated that certain mental conditions are not to be fixed as there's nothing wrong with having them, it's clear that Musk views any defect of the human brain to be nothing more than an error in a line of code that can be and should be altered via Neuralink. Whether buyers agree or not will certainly become apparent once the device hits the marketplace. But that's not all. Artificial intelligence and medical advancements are fantastic. But can the Neuralink help us become more intelligent? Musk seems to think it can. He likens our brains with a Neuralink implant to that of a smartphone. With a smartphone, we can look up directions, homework solutions, recipes, pretty much anything we want in the blink of an eye. Why not be able to do that in real time? Could you imagine how much smarter the human race would become if we essentially became walking search engines? How would this affect the need for education in schools? Would college degrees become obsolete? It definitely raises some interesting questions, ones that we must ask ourselves if we truly want Neuralink implanted brains to become our norm. It can't be denied that Neuralink may be Elon Musk's most controversial creation yet. Many are asking, where do we draw the line between man and machine? What's stopping us from becoming completely consumed by our technology? All opinions to these thoughts are valid. This is such groundbreaking technology that we truly haven't seen before. It's only normal to be concerned about the potential issues that may arise. However, it's important to have hope and think of all the advancements a device such as Neuralink could bring to our world. Brain-machine interfaces have existed for decades, but none truly like this. Imagine a world where losing the use of your limbs wasn't permanent, where a family member suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's could get the treatment they so desperately needed. A world where we truly live the best lives this world has to offer, without fear of medical emergencies striking us down. One may argue that the implantation of the Neuralink may free us of our electronic devices, as all we need to rely on is already in our brains. If that was the case, losing your phone or breaking your laptop wouldn't be as much of a hassle as it is today. No matter what, Neuralink will surely be the talk of the biotech industry for years to come. What do you think? Will Musk achieve his goals, or is he just dreaming too big?